November 12th, 1966, was a quiet evening in a small town of Clendenin, West Virginia. The sun had long sunk beneath the horizon, and the cold wind whispered through the trees. Two men were preparing to dig a grave in a local cemetery when they saw something extraordinary. In the dim light, they spotted a large winged figure rise above the trees, unlike anything they had ever seen before. Silent and dark, it glided over them before disappearing into the night sky. At that moment, none of them could have predicted the fear and chaos that would soon grip Point Pleasant, West Virginia, a town just miles away. Hello to all of my fellow creepy little weirdos. My name is Christina, and I will be your tour guide through the realms of the unexplained, the paranormal, and the just plain weird. Welcome to Horror, History, and Hauntings. 3 days after the graveyard sighting, on November 15th, 1966, two young couples, Roger and Linda Scarberry and Stephen Marie Milletti, drove through the TNT area just outside of Point Pleasant. The area was known for its World War II munitions plant, but it was abandoned. Its concrete igloos used for storage now. The four friends were chatting, enjoying a peaceful drive, when their headlights illuminated something that froze them in terror. Standing alongside the road was a massive creature, about 7 feet tall, with glowing red eyes and large white wings on its back. It didn't move at first, just staring back at the car, but when Roger slammed on the accelerator, the creature spread its wings and followed. As they raced down Route 62, the creature soared above them, keeping pace with ease with their car, and it was making some sort of screeching sound. And despite their speed, it never fell behind them. The couples managed to escape the creature and reported their experience to the local sheriff. Little did they know their encounter would be the first of many in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Word of the creature spread quickly. More sightings poured in over the next few days, all describing the same terrifying figure. Tall, dark, with enormous wings and eyes that glowed like embers. Some witnesses claimed to have seen it lurking near their homes, while others said it followed their cars at breakneck speeds, much like it had done with the Scarberries and the Millettis. The press caught wind of the reports and dubbed the creature Mothman, after a popular Batman villain at the time called Killer Moth. The once quiet town of Point Pleasant was now consumed with fear and curiosity. But it wasn't just the Mothman that unsettled the locals. Strange phone calls, lights in the sky, and strange visits from mysterious men in black suits began to plague those who had seen the creature. The atmosphere at Point Pleasant grew thick with unease, as if something larger and more sinister was at play. As the sightings of the Mothman continued into December of 1967, a new tragedy struck Point Pleasant. On December 15th, during the busy holiday shopping season, the Silver Bridge, which connected Point Pleasant to Gallipolis, Ohio, collapsed into the icy waters of the Ohio River. The bridge was packed with cars, and in the chaos, 46 people lost their lives that day. The town was devastated. For many, the Mothman sighting seemed to be a grim omen of the disaster. Some even claimed to have seen the creature perched on top of the bridge days before the collapse, as though it had been trying to warn the town somehow. Whether the Mothman was a harbinger of doom, a protector, or merely a frightened animal, no one could say. But the bridge collapse marked the end of the sightings, and the creature disappeared as suddenly as it arrived in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. In the years that followed, the legend of the Mothman only grew. Investigators, journalists, and paranormal enthusiasts descended on Point Pleasant, each trying to unravel the mystery. Some believe the Mothman was a cryptid, a yet undiscovered creature, hiding in the remote forests of West Virginia. Others speculate it was an extraterrestrial, or perhaps a product of some secret government experiment from the nearby TNT plant. Still others thought the creature was just a supernatural being, sent to warn the town of the impending disaster. Books were written, films were made, and Point Pleasant became a focal point of anyone interested in the strange and the unexplained. Every year, the town holds a Mothman festival, celebrating the creature that had once terrified its citizens. Yet despite all the attention, the true identity and purpose of the Mothman remains an enigma. Over the decades, researchers and skeptics alike have tried to explain the Mothman sightings. Some believe that the creature was nothing more than a large bird, such as a sandhill crane or an owl, its eyes reflecting light in a way that made them appear red. The stress and fear surrounding the Silver Bridge disaster, they argued, may have contributed to some sort of mass hysteria, causing people to misinterpret what they saw. Others suggested a psychological explanation. Anxiety about the Cold War, the nearby TNT plant, and other stressors of the 1960s may have led to a collective sense of dread, manifesting in the form of a mysterious monster. But even with these rational theories, there are still many who remain convinced that the Mothman was something far more otherworldly, and that its presence in Point Pleasant was no coincidence. Though the Mothman vanished after the Silver Bridge collapse in Point Pleasant, its legend endures. Point Pleasant has embraced its strange past, turning what was once a frightening chapter in its history into a source of fascination and pride. The Mothman Museum stands in the heart of town, and each year visitors come from all over the world to celebrate the creature at the Mothman Festival. Yet, for all the festivities, there are still those who wonder if the Mothman will ever return to Point Pleasant one day. Occasional sightings continue to be reported around the world. Similar winged creatures with glowing eyes, glimpsed in fleeting moments of terror. In 2017, Chicago had a string of 55 reported sightings, and then in 1999, Moscow, Russia, had a string of sightings that some claimed was a foreshadowing of the 1999 Russian apartment bombing. Whether these sightings are connected or not, one thing is certain. The Mothman has left a permanent mark on Point Pleasant and in the world, and its story will continue to be told for generations to come. This is my favorite cryptid, and I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. If you would like to show your support, please hit that like button and subscribe. It would mean the world to me. Also, you might also like this other video about another creepy cryptid or this playlist on my channel. And as always, thanks for watching, good night, and sweet dreams. Bye-bye.